Hello there, lovely people. It's Alex from Nintendo Life here, and it's also...
Mr. Felix here. Hi, Alex.
Hello. Yes, something rather unprecedented has happened, hasn't it? You know, we hear time and time again about games being delayed, and, you know, often rightly so. You know, a game needs to be finished before it comes out, and frankly, often I feel it's like magic and spider's webs that make up a game anyway. It's amazing anything gets released. That might be a slight exaggeration, but it's fun. But we've got an instance here. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 has not been delayed. It has been brought forward, and not just by a little bit. It was originally coming out in September. Now it's coming out... Oh, I've forgotten the date.
July 29th.
I knew it was July, but I was just like, I should probably say the day as well. But yeah, it's been brought forward. That is, I mean, we could ruminate and we could speculate as to why they're doing that until the cows come home. But that's not what we're here. We're here to talk about how the game actually looks, because this is the first time that we've had a decent look at it. I know we've had trailers before, but this feels a bit more substantial, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, it does. We get a ton of new gameplay elements. We see how the battle system works. We see, you know, we just see so much more, and it looks really exciting.
It is, and we're not the first people to say this, I'm sure, but one thing that absolutely really tickles me is they've shown off the UI, and some people have criticized Monolith Soft for having UI user interfaces that are too complicated, too many things on screen at once. And it's even more complicated than Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
It's like they heard the complaints and they were like, well, here's something even more incredible. I myself, I don't really care if the UI is cluttering up. I know some people are like, when they played Elden Ring, oh, it's so nice that there's nothing cluttering up. I think it's alright. I've seen very mixed feelings about it online. Some people say, oh, this looks much better than Xenoblade Chronicles 2 or stuff like that. And then some people say, oh, this is too much. I'm getting a panic attack. So it's. I think it's also a lot of personal preference. It does look like they're combining stuff from Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and 2, which is nice because they were fairly different. I mean, I've not played Xenoblade Chronicles 2 yet. I still need to get around to that. And now I have even more reason to do so before this game comes out.
I agree. It's really interesting to see. And yeah, there are some people for whom this is going to be too much UI. But for me, I don't really mind. As long as it's not needless UI or like unnecessarily complicated to the actual function. But from what I can see here, I can't say for certain because I haven't played the game, but nothing here looks superfluous, if that makes any sense. Like, it all looks like it's needed and important to properly understand. Maybe not, you know, sort of some things like having attack up and evasion up over the individual characters as I'm looking at the moment, but even so, I wouldn't say it was egregious. It looks like it's going to be a complicated battle system, and with such a complicated battle system and in this particular manner, you're going to need a lot of icons, just full stop.
There's also 7 characters at once. It looks like one of the big things in Xenoblade Chronicles thing is a thing called Ouroboros. It's like
Ouroboros.
Oh no, it's
a word that most people don't know how to pronounce. To be honest,
okay.
I don't pronounce it that way, and I don't know whether I'm just wrong or whether it's a regional thing, but I say Roborus. So
that
who knows?
Maybe I'm right, Alex.
Maybe I'm wrong, but the Ouroboros, I'm going to do my best to say it how it is in here because it's being treated as a proper noun, is basically, it's kind of like 2 characters sort of coming together in some sort of fusion system. And in fact, I can actually see the word fusion on the UI, so that makes a lot of sense. And it's sort of multiple characters sort of merging together and becoming one big beastly thing. And that appears to be one of the new gameplay elements, one of the new combat mechanics that we're going to be expecting from this game. And it looks like one of the villains, or at least certainly an antagonist, whether they're a villain or not, it's yet to be seen, appears to be some form of Ouroboros. At least it appears that way. It may well be that they're not. but it definitely seems to be looking that way. And I know you said you haven't played Xenoblade Chronicles 2, but a lot of the Ouroboros look distinctly like the common blades from Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Are you familiar with those?
I'm not. I mean, they do look a bit like the mechans that talk in Xenoblade Chronicles 1. That's about it.
They do actually a little bit like, the sort of the human-like mechon, don't they?
Yeah, exactly.
Anyone would think they're from the same series or something. And there's definitely lots of little nods here to previous Xenoblade games. Except X. I haven't noticed anything from X.
And also, it doesn't look like any two characters can pair. It looks like there is just, Noah and Mio can pair. And I can't remember the names of the other ones, but it's like set in stone who can pair with who. So that just means that, we have to have a lot of characters to be able to have a lot of these. Oh my god, I can't pronounce that word.
Ouroboros.
Oh,
that's okay.
So
I'm sure you can be forgiven, given that you're currently not speaking your native language.
That's all right.
But there's one instance as well in the trailer at around about the 155 mark, where we see a character. I believe. I don't know who that is. There's so many.
That's Noah.
That is Noah. Okay, I was gonna say Noah, and then I realized is wielding a sword that looks unsurprisingly similar to the Monado. I mean, it's got sort of notes of the Monado and the sort of the Aegis sword form of Pyra. I forget how you define those, but the actual like physical weapon rather than the blade in inverted commas that is Pyra. They haven't helped us with this fact.
It's almost like they're from the same series and it's a reference, don't you think, Alex?
Maybe, or maybe it's deeper than that. Maybe there's a lore reason, and they did say that it will bring the worlds of Xenoblade and Xenoblade Chronicles 2 together. I mean, they've already dabbled with that a bit with some of the DLC and stuff, but strangely, Noah's sort of unsheathing a much smaller blade, more like a rapier or something, and then the red surround that is so sort of recognizable as the Monado becomes some sort of fancy hand like Iron Man. That's interesting.
I didn't know Iron Man was in Xenoblade. Why didn't anyone tell me?
Oh yeah, he's unlockable as a character.
Oh, that's cool.
He's half mechon.
No way. He's actually the main villain in Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Damn you, Iron Man.
A thing that isn't in the UI is like the party meter, which has been present in previous games. So that was a fairly big thing, at least in Definitive Edition, where it builds up and
there's
really
something similar on the right hand side.
There it is.
That appears to be something like an affinity meter or something with chain attack underneath. So it may well be that they've tried to simplify it because, to be honest, because it was a bar before, wasn't it? Was it a bar?
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a blue bar.
That's not always easy to pass in combat, but a circle being filled is a lot easier to see, sort of how filled something is, sort of where I'm looking, it's 3/4 of the way, or, nearly, maybe, like 4/7 or something, I don't know. Or maybe even 5/7. But it's, But then there's also, in the bottom left-hand side, there's what is clearly the Ouroboros meter, because it's using the symbol of the snake eating itself, which is the symbol of Ouroboros or Ouroboros.
Ah.
And that seems to be filling up as well. I feel like we could dissect the UI until the cows come home, but should we just sort of talk about maybe how we feel overall? How are you excited?
I am excited, but I still need to play Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and finish Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, and that is a big task ahead. But once I get around to that, I will be really excited to try out this game. When I saw the initial, release trailer, the one that showed it off, I was really excited because it just shows that Nintendo or Monolith Soft has a lot of faith in this franchise, which I think is deservable. I haven't finished the first Xenoblade Chronicles, but what I've played you know, the music, the atmosphere. I don't know, it kind of feels like I'm in a Studio Ghibli movie, and you know, I don't know, it's just so magical. I watched the initial trailer for Definitive Edition again, and I was sobbing a bit, Alex. It's just so good.
Sorry,
so
that wasn't meant to be
touching.
sort of a laugh at you or anything. It's just sort of I can appreciate that. I first played Xenoblade Chronicles 1 when I was at university, and I paid what was a king's ransom at the time for me, because I did not have a lot of money, but I heard really great things about Xenoblade.
Yeah.
I tried to get my hands on a new copy because there was actually a pallet of new old stock found in a warehouse, and I did my best to try and get a new copy. Because they were being sold for like 15 quid or something.
Oh, okay.
That didn't happen. I put in an order. I got there and they were just like, "Oh, it's not here." And I was like, "Well, what?" It's like, "Oh, we must have sold it." And it's like, "What?" I got my money back, but I was still annoyed. I bought the game secondhand, and I paid £30 for it, which was a lot for me back then. I wasn't buying any new games, full stop.
Okay.
And I was so pleased I did, because I heard how big it was, and I thought, I'm gonna get my money's worth with this, and I bloody did. That game is huge, and I should probably play Definitive Edition as well. Properly. I played
it
a
looks
bit.
really good.
Yeah.
There is some animations that are a bit, you know, a bit funky when they walk and stuff like that, but that is easily forgiven with the story and the immersefulness that this game brings.
Yeah, it was the same in the Wii original, unsurprisingly, so I think it's kind of a hangover from that. Certainly the jumping animation, that is supremely dodgy. But yes, I'm really looking forward to this. It's making me want to go back to Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which
yes,
I enjoyed. I didn't so much care for the stylization in some areas. It felt more sort of, I want to say cartoony, for lack of a better term. And that kind of... It didn't put me off, but it sort of discouraged me from continuing further, which is a shame, because I know from what I played, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I know it's a great game. I just need to re-download it and give it another bloomin' good go, and maybe I should.
I have bought Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I have it ready to roll when I actually do finish a Definitive Edition, but yeah, it's coming, guys. Don't worry. One day I'll be, you know, I can spit facts and all that stuff, but... It's a long process. It is a really big game. Both games are. God, so, you know, it's just daunting to have that, you know, okay, I need to play this. And it's just, I have to dedicate so much time to do so. But I will. Don't worry about it.
If you are interested in, if you run out of time in the run-up, because we don't have long now until Xenoblade Chronicles 3 comes out, I wouldn't say you need to finish Xenoblade Chronicles in order to get Xenoblade Chronicles 2. If anyone listening to this knows of any reason why that's completely false, then please do let me know in the comments, because I haven't played all of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, but yeah, if you did want to sort of maybe just sort of familiarize yourself with both before necessarily completing the first one, I think you could probably do that.
I just thought, because I heard some stuff with the DLC and that, you know, intertwined the stories a bit, so I wanted to know, because in Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, I think I reached Mechon or something, and stuff started to get really spicy.
Oh, it gets spicy, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. But it's also, I'm really interested
no spoilers in this.
Oh, sorry. But I'm just really interested to finish that game also. But if like you're saying, it doesn't really matter to finish it, I would definitely like to give Xenoblade Chronicles 2 a go before playing 3, because I think 3 is a game I'll put a lot of hours into. It just looks really enticing.
It does. It looks like it's taking cues from both, which isn't surprising given what they've said in the past about this game.
I like that.
But yeah, no, I think that's really good. I really enjoyed that.
Also, I really like the style it's going for. It's like more close to Definitive Edition while still being a bit more modernized. It just looks really good.
Yeah, again, it's not quite as, for lack of a better term, sort of cartoony, sort of cel-shaded.
Yeah.
There's still definitely a style in there, don't get me wrong. It's not photorealistic, but it's not quite leaning as hard into that as Xenoblade 2 did, so I'm very pleased with that, because I'm a bit more on that side of things, personally. There's a purely personal thing.
Well, one thing we forgot to discuss, Alex, I'll just send a picture here, is it seems to be there's classes also in Xenoblade Chronicles 3, which I think looks really like...
Oh, yeah. I wasn't familiar with this. I've seen Mio with those ring things before, but I didn't sort of put two and two together.
No, because like we talked about the Monado-shaped sword on Noah, but it looks like you can just change classes and have, you know, if you don't want Noah to have that sword, you can have him being a defender and have Mio be, you know, the attacker, which I think, you know, adds a lot to... Customizability is always nice in a game, and especially in a game like this, it can also add to great replayability.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be interesting to see if it is a class-based system or whether it's simply like an equipment loadout rather than a class thing, and maybe you can change between them on the fly, maybe?
We'll see.
Not saying you can definitely do that, but I'm definitely keen to see where they go with it.
Well, Alex, I think that kind of sums up what we saw in the trailer. We didn't get much into story analytical.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, I didn't really want to speculate on the story because the story in Xenoblade is so important, and I didn't want to, as much as anything, if it does tie Xenoblade and Xenoblade 2 together, if we start talking about it, we could start getting into spoiler territory, and that's not fair.
No, there's a lot of people who haven't played the games.
Absolutely, yes. And also, as much as anything, I don't really know what the bloody hell's going on, if I'm brutally honest.
No, a lot of stuff is happening, and I'm excited to find out what exactly is, you know, all this stuff that's going on. I'm enticed, I'm excited, and can't wait to play the game. And I'm really glad they moved it up. I don't think a single person predicted that they would move the release date up.
God, no. I mean, I wonder whether maybe it's been... I did say we weren't going to speculate, but I'm just going to speculate a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm wondering if maybe it's been done for a while.
Yeah, probably.
And Nintendo has something else that they were going to release in July, but need to push back, and so they kind of swapped them, maybe?
I mean, my theory is that it's Splatoon, but, you know, that would be a shame.
Don't say that!
I'm sorry. I do agree with you. They probably had the game done, and holy damn, great job in getting the job done. So, I don't know. It's just, you see so many games being delayed and stuff, so it's just so refreshing to see a game being moved up.
Yeah.
Also, after the devastating news of Breath of the Wild, the sequel
Indeed.
to Breath of the Wild.
It's not something I would want to, like, oh, I really want to see games move forward in the future because, you know, games need to be done. If a game's done and it can be moved forward and it doesn't do anything to the quality, I'd love it. But at the same time, I'm not holding my breath for this to ever happen again with a game this big.
Couldn't have said it better, Alex.
And one last closing thing. This screenshot of Noah, whose arm has been detached.
Wow, that gotta hurt.
I think it's just like swapping the model in. For some reason, it's not quite in the right position because it's only for like 1 or 2 frames, I think. And then it goes, you know, it's swapping the clothed arm out for a bare arm. It just tickled me.
Oh yeah, that's probably what they did, Alex. That's gotta hurt just a tiny bit.
Just a bit, yeah. I've not done it in years, but you know. Let's just do the outro.
Cool. That's cool.
Thank you so much for watching. Those are our thoughts on Xenoblade Chronicles 3. It's been moved forward. What's up with that? Let us know your thoughts about the game in the comments down below. But for the time being, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, then why don't you make that subscribe button go around your arm as you pull a sword out of it, and be sure to check out nintendolife.com for all sorts of lovely Nintendo-related content. Thank you again for watching. Bye-bye.
I'm really feeling it.
You're really Felix it.